Well, hello everybody, this is the Orca Theory, and welcome back to Dark Souls 3. I am in the middle of getting my ass handed to me by this lovely denizen of the Undead Settlement. It has been a hot minute since I last played Dark Souls 3, and there's been a couple reasons for that. Number one reason is that I did a special through the month of October. Perhaps you saw bits of it. It is called the Orca Scare. And that was a lot of fun, but that took up a lot of my time, and plus I was really busy throughout the month of October, so I apologize for any breaks in the content. So, the reason I came back here originally is because, as part of like this lore through, I'm trying to do as much as possible, trying to get as many of the quests and covenants done as possible, and, you know, you can't do anything in this game without doing it 2 or 3 times throughout New Game Plus cycles. But this game does actually a really nice job of setting things up beforehand so that you can at least get a taste of different covenants. And one of the bigger ones that I actually really like the mechanics of a lot is the Mound Makers covenant, whatever the hell it's called. It's been a while. Give me a fucking break. So we are going to try to at least get that started, because that does initiate one of my favorite quests from this game. Amazing how much I remember about enemy placement so far. Since I last played this, we have gotten the release of the first piece of DLC for Dark Souls 3, the Ashes of Ariandel DLC. I will be doing that at some point, whether or not that's going to be its own standalone thing or as part of this playthrough. I haven't really decided yet. I haven't played through it at all. So if you do see it, you will see it raw. You will see it unfiltered. You will see it kind of mucking about. So, in order to activate the Mound Makers, we have to go over there. And I'm trying to think if I can just get around these guys. You know what? I think I can. Make as much noise as possible on the way. If it doesn't work out, there's always the bonfire. Okay. Took them both out. One hit. Nice. I wonder if there's anything back here. Okay, yeah, this is the way to go. And I gotta be real careful because I don't remember any of these placements, and I'm not rocking a shield currently, so I gotta be especially careful. These blow dart guys are not as dangerous as the blow dart folks in Blighttown, but they can be just as problematic if you don't know where they are. Yeah, see right there. You get hit real hard. I love that roll. Alright, I'm just gonna top myself off here with some Estus. And then charge on over to this guy. Oof! Oh, man! Triggered the fall animation. Take care of you, and then there was one more guy up top over there. Let's see if I can get him. Got him. Okay. As long as he brings out his weapon, I'm safe from the blow darts. And it's like he's having a happy little jaunt down there. I'm not going to follow him. Screw that. So, to activate the Mound Makers, you actually have to go over to here. Now, you'll see this guy, and you can't lock onto him. So that's your first clue right there. Then you talk.
Nana disappeared. The grunting carries a cage. He ever has his cage. And Nana's never coming back. So come into the cage and become Nana's shade.
That's a weird thing to say, buddy.
Nana disappeared.
Okay, and that's all he says. But what he does is he gives you a hint and actually activates the control for what's the next part of the quest. If you look, and you might be able to see him from over here. I don't think you can, actually. I think you actually have to go up here. One of those large cleaver-wielding dudes that we have fought now a couple times, he will have a different prompt when you approach him from the backside. Ooh, home bone. Yeah, there he is. When you approach him from the backside, you can actually activate to climb into the cage. And I'm just going to wait for him to come around again so that I can actually do that. And what this does is it gives you access to the Mound Makers Covenant, which we'll talk about in just a second. But it also starts one of the better quest lines, in my opinion, in this game. I love the Cirrus of the Sunless Realms quest line. See if he'll come back around. I actually don't know what his aggro is like. If he's facing you and he just suddenly decides to start attacking, I don't remember. Okay. Looks like he's all set. Doesn't look like he's gonna try to attack me. And you can see I'm trying to lock onto him. I can't even lock onto him. Oh, I can lock onto him. No way. Don't worry about me. I'm just hanging out, bud. Alright, let's get in that cage. Examine. Yeah, so now we can climb into the cage. And he's gonna do something terrible with our bodies. Why would you do this? Only in the world of Dark Souls would you ever think like, oh, you know what, I think I'll just climb into a cage today, see where they bring me, whatever. I guess when you don't have to worry about like permanently dying. It's not like hollowing's a big problem. We're not actually undead. We're just ash. Oh, hollow ash. So he throws us to the bottom of this giant pit. Our cage breaks. And we've met this guy before. The Mad Knight Hodrick. So the way the Mound Makers work is they are essentially a summon / PvP covenant. But instead of like, because normally when you summon in a white phantom, get a good look here of the vistas. When you summon in a white phantom, if they swing in your general direction, they can't hurt you. You have immunity from all of their attacks. So it makes sense for white phantoms to just gang up on certain folks at certain times. If you summon in a Mound Maker person, and they'll have a different aura, it's like a bluish purple. If they swing their sword, they can actually hurt you. So when you summon in a Mound Maker person, you're inviting in kind of like the Mad Knight Hodrick. He could either help you or hurt you in equal measure, which can be kind of fun to play around with. We might actually stick around with this covenant for a little bit. So we will be actually coming down to this little section of turf a little bit later. But let's get some lore from our good friend here. Let's get a good view of him. Do I got my binoculars on? Yes, I do. So I want to take a look at him. Looks like a normal dude. He's got a weird maladjusted hat. He's got a flamberge. You can see the ripples in the steel there. It's got a really, really cool armor set. Nothing too fancy, but it's got a nice, decent look to it, kind of like a broken knight look. All right, let's talk to him.
Well, what's up? This pit is for hollows, not for the likes of you sane folk. Or perhaps you are a hollow, posing as otherwise?
Indeed.
Yes, then we are just fine. It's important to know who you are, but we'll all be mad soon enough. And should you be undead, well, all the more so. Beware, the shackles of the gods are fragile. You might need this. Etch it on your heart if you feel your sanity slipping.
The Mound Makers Covenant.
Come here
Sick.
to pile up your victims, for that will form your anchor. You'll see when you go mad. They'll be your family. You'll go mad one day, but not today. Take my advice. Use this bone and leave this place.
So he gives us a homeward bone, because as you can see, there's no bonfire down here, so we would otherwise be stuck.
Hollows, and for the occasional madman fond of piling up victims. You've better things to do, I'd hope. This pit is
okay, so he's done. So the Mound Makers are another covenant that has heavily to do with hollowing and hollows in general. This game does a lot further digging into hollow society. What happens if humans just completely degrade? What happens to society, communities, etc., etc.? The Undead Settlement has their own little solution where they gather up undead, they torture them, they dissect them, they throw them in cages, and then apparently they throw them down here. where they are interred into the ground, as we saw over here. You can see the skulls piling up in the actual altar. This guy invites you to join that covenant. So let's take a look right quick at that covenant. We are in the Way of Blue. We are actually going to join the Mound Makers. Pledge oneself to the Mound Maker Covenant. A malformed vertebrae found by the mad with a queer symbol on its inside, proof of the shackles of the gods. Equip to pledge oneself to Mound Makers Covenant. The Mound Makers wish only to add to their mounds, becoming mad spirits whether summoned as cooperators or invaders. So, just like I described, they are blithe to those around them, for in their minds any kill might lead to another shackle. So, malformed vertebrae. We have seen those before, and I believe I actually collected one. It would be down towards the bottom. Yeah, vertebrae shackle. Special bone collected by the members of the Covenant of Mound Makers, discovered in the corpses of their victims. Only one such bone is found in the vertebrae, and the Mound Makers believe it to be a shackle of the gods. In their minds, each victim is another connection in addition to the family. So the Mound Makers believe that their madness is a result of them losing that shackle to the gods. They collect these shackles, they bring them to the altar, they devote those shackles to the altar, and then they add one to the family. Really, really interesting. The vertebrae are part of your spinal column, effectively connecting the nerves from your brain to the rest of your body, if you know basic anatomy. So losing that connection from your mind to your body, what does your body do when it loses all reason, when it loses all conscious thought? Very, very cool covenant. And like I said, it's one of my favorite quest lines. Everything that has to do with this guy, Nana, who we heard about in the song, and then Cirrus of the Sunless Realms, who we have yet to meet yet in this game. We are going to be taking a homeward bone out of here. He gave us a free one, so we are going to use it, and we are actually going to go back to the Shran bonfire real quick, because it's been a while since I've been there, and I just want to take shop real quick. So, planning ahead for this LP, I'm going to continue this LP as is. Whether or not I decide to do Ashes of Ariandel as its own standalone series, like parallel to this, or as an addendum to this LP, I have yet to really decide. You know what, let's make a decision right here. I am just going to do it at the end of this. I think that's appropriate. I'd like to actually go through this game again anyways, just to get myself all spiffed up for the DLC. Because from what I understand, that DLC is real tough. Okay, so we are going to buff strength. Oh, we can do a lot. I think we'll do 4 in strength. And we're going to need at least 1 in endurance. My ideal build at this point is I want to bring up vigor and endurance to at least 30 each by the end. Strength up to 40. I believe that's the soft cap. And then any additional ones I'll just dump into vitality if I happen to get them free or not. Just to kind of give you a heads up, I am going to go for a strength build. I talked about this at the beginning of the LP. I don't play around with strength builds all that much typically with Dark Souls, so doing that will be a lot of fun. Looks like Grey Rat's back in business. Let's see what he has on offer. Hey, guy.
Ah, there you are. I was thinking. You know I'm a petty thief. Well, perhaps I'll go on the prowl.
You know, not a bad idea.
Hollowed away anyway, right? So I might as well fetch some weapons or treasure for you.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Well, what do you say?
You know what? I'm going to send him to pillage.
Thank you. You will not be disappointed. Grey Rat the Thief was once a well-known name.
I'm not sure that's something you need to be advertising, buddy.
Up rotting in a cell.
Okay, so now he's going to go out and he's going to go pillage, I believe, the Undead Settlement. And when he comes back, he will have additional stuff for us to buy. So let's... You know, I don't think there's really anything I need particularly. The firebombs might be nice, because they're cheap here. Although, I don't think the Shrine Maiden sells throwing knives. But, you know what? Firebombs might be better. So let's just buy 20 of those, just kind of top it off. And then, I can buy 1 throwing knife. Great.
Goodbye. I will leave for some time. So long for now. Do stay safe, you hear? all my efforts will have been for naught.
Yeah, you too, bud. You stay safe. So he'll come back after a certain number of bosses are beat. I believe he comes back actually just before the Farron Woods boss, once you activate that last gate.
Oh, Archer, I would do anything.
I haven't gotten you yet.
Be safe.
So at some point, I'm just going to have to start dying. Because I do want to activate his quest and his quest line. That is something I want to show you guys. The Lord of Hollows. That all starts with him. And there is a point where he will just be gone. So I want to make sure I get that. And I'm not sure if I talked to Leonhard up here yet. Let's just go see what he's about.
Well, hasn't it been some time?
I obviously did.
I'm Leonhard, the Ringfinger. Remember me? I slipped you those red eyes some time ago.
Yeah, you did. I didn't use a single one.
You're making quite an effort of it, so I thought you might like to know. If you yearn for a proper red-eye orb, one that is uncracked, then kill the Dark Wraith, survivor of the land swallowed by darkness. He has been a prisoner for many ages in the deepest cell in all
Many ages. I think that's just meant as kind of colloquially, like he's been down there for a while.
I can see it in your eyes. If you didn't invade, didn't pillage, whatever would you do?
Probably wear a sick tri-corner hat, dude. Okay, folks, thank you for joining me back on this LP of Dark Souls 3. You'll see episodes of this going up regularly now, so be stoked for that. I am the Orca Theory. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, share your thoughts. That's the only way this channel will ever get better. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm super stoked to get back. Bye-bye.